Hi, my name is Cameron Carlson with AnimeLocation.tv. I'm here at Animatic 2018 with
Akakioga Cosplay.
Thank you!
Yeah.
All right, so how did you get started in the world of cosplay?
So I originally went to my first convention in 2006 with my mom, Anime Expo, when it was really small, and I didn't know that people actually dressed up as their favorite characters, but I love Naruto, I loved Inuyasha, I loved watching Adult Swim and all that other stuff when I was a kid. And then I was like, people dress up? What is this? And then I just kind of started getting into it. I made my mom cosplay with me when I was a kid. And then really I started making my own stuff around college when I was like, hey, I have money now. What's money, right? And so I started making my own stuff. I make props, make wigs, armor, sew costumes. And so it's been a huge journey, just kind of going from me being like 12 to me being like a middle-aged adult, still kind of doing this, and it's really, really fun.
Alrighty, so looking at some of the cosplay you've done, and one of your favorites is Orisa from Overwatch. What does it mean to you knowing that she has very deep ties to tribal Africa?
So the fact that Blizzard actually takes the time to have those intricate details, I think is amazing, because it shows that they really want to make that character not only unique, but give them a story behind their designs and everything like that. And so even when Doomfist came out, he has a story, and it's awesome that Blizzard is really able to kind of diversify their characters and give everybody from each walk of life someone they can really relate to. Orisa means a lot to me just because she's an Omnic, but she's adorable. Ify's adorable, and I think that just kind of what they stand for is really cool.
I mean, like I said, there's a fun video that explains it all online, so it's really fun. So you also love doing Static Shock, one of the very first teen African-American comic book characters. What does that mean to you, and what did it inspire you to do that?
So I actually watched Static Shock when I was a kid. I would wake up every Saturday morning. I remember specifically Kids WB, the Saturday morning original 90s cartoons. I love Static Shock because he was a black character who was a good guy, and what he did, he was a teenager struggling with his teen life, but also trying to be a superhero, and the whole show encapsulated what it was like to be a black teen in America, and they really struggled with that, his identity a lot, but they also talked about that a lot. And I think that just in genre of cartoons and comic books, it's really not touched on. And I think Static was beyond before its time, right, because they tackled a lot of the racial issues, right, that we still deal with today. And so he means a lot to me because of the fact that he was able to represent a small minority of us back in the 90s. Yeah.
I mean, again, I grew up actually watching it myself, so I get what you're talking about. So, what was it like to say about cosplay equality in the community? What does that mean for you?
Woo, that's a big question. So, when I say cosplay equality, I basically mean I don't care what you look like, who you are, what religion you are. You should be able to cosplay no matter who you want to be. And I've gotten a lot of racist comments toward me cosplaying characters that, oh, you're black, you can't cosplay, Lucina from Fire Emblem or Ryuko from Kill la Kill because they're not your same skin tone. But it's just a costume. I know that I'm not white, and that shouldn't stop me from cosplaying characters that I really enjoy. And so I have my platform as a way to empower minority cosplayers to say, hey, who cares if you're black and you may be a little on the bigger side and all the other stuff, you could cosplay whoever you want because it's called cosplay, not cost accuracy. Right. And so as a black cosplayer, I go to conventions to share that with everybody. I run panels on diversity and cosplay. I want to be the face of diversity when people think, oh, there aren't very many black people who cosplay, because I want you to think of 5 people off the top of your head who's a black cosplayer. It's probably really hard. And so, well, you don't count. And so, but for the people who really are kind of struggling thinking of who are these 5 that I can think of, that's the reason why it's so important. It's because we're out here, we're doing great things, but we're kind of behind the scenes almost. And so I want to empower those people who are afraid to cosplay to say, hey, it's okay, I'm doing it and it's great, and you're gonna have such an amazing time regardless of all the haters. You do you, and you're gonna rock it.
I love that message. So how can all of us in the community help towards total cosplay equality for cosplay fans?
So one is just acceptance and inclusion. because I see just in our genre and media as a whole, we're becoming a lot more diverse in terms of the characters that are coming out. Black Panther just came out, so now there's going to be amazing Black Panther cosplayers that are going to be coming out. And so I think our world is beginning to realize that nerds aren't just white. Nerds are every color, nerds are every religion, nerds are every race, creed, like anything you can think of. And that in itself is going to help bring up the fact that like people can do these things without being like a certain way, you know? And so I'm honestly like even thrilled to say even today, like I've seen a lot of minority cosplayers here, and it brings me so much joy to see that though. Like it's sometimes when I first started, it was rare to see that.
Yeah, it was.
But now I'm seeing it everywhere, and I'm like, thank you. Because back when I started,
You were it.
I was it where I lived. Now they're everywhere, and they're coming to me being like, I follow you, and I started cosplaying because of you. And that to me just like makes me like really happy as a cosplayer.
Nice. Now, back in February, you happened to be at Katsucon, and you happened to be part of an awesome Evolution set, and received quite a bit of attention. What was it like to be part of that group of amazing people?
Intimidating. So it took me about like a month or so to make the costume, and we all kind of collaborated months in advance saying, hey, we're going to do this EV, and we're going to meet up on this day, and we're going to hang out and stuff like that. And it was amazing because I don't really do a lot of group cosplays a lot. But they were all so friendly, so nice. Everyone looked gorgeous,
yes,
like drop dead gorgeous. And I was intimidated because as a cosplayer, sometimes you don't feel like you're up to snuff with like other people. But when you line all of you up and you're like all next to each other, you're like, we all look great. Like, I thought I looked sexy. I'm just saying. I had a blast, and honestly, I want to do more group stuff because that is one of the most empowering things you can do is cosplay with friends.
Yeah.
Get you some friends, cosplay with them, drag them along with you. It's a good time.
Now, your cosplays have actually caught a lot of attention from Blizzard. How do you handle it, and what advice would you give to other cosplayers when their costumes get picked up by the actual creators?
I cried when somebody actually found me on the Blizzard launcher from BlizzCon. I had no idea I was on there until someone was like, you're on the launcher, and I'm like, I'm on the who now? And so I mean, I play a lot of Overwatch, and so I didn't even know, but then it came out and I was like, oh my god. And then they shared me on their Facebook page. I'm like, oh my god. It's a lot because you make these costumes because you enjoy that company and you enjoy the characters. And so for them to realize like, oh, they're really cool, let's share them because like they enjoy what we do. I'm like, oh, it feels really good. It's overwhelming. I won't lie. But it's an emotional overwhelmness that I really like. But for somebody who like, how do you take it? I don't want to be a prideful person. Like, I really strive to not be that. I'm just thankful that the amount of effort I take into like a certain costume was recognized by the people who made the character. So that in itself was really awesome, and I'm glad that they were able to do that for me. And from there, I just kind of say, hey, thank you guys so much for, enjoying what I do, and I appreciate that you like what I did. So thank you, and I'm still kind of in the glow of everything, but I'm trying not to let it get to my head, but it's still an honor, I'll say the least.
So Blizzard seems to be one of your favorite video game companies to play. What also is one of your other favorite video games to play that's not a Blizzard-related game that maybe inspires you to do some cosplay?
So that's a hard question because I love every Blizzard game. But right now, I really want to try something from Skyrim. I really love Skyrim. Assassin's Creed was one of the games that I kind of grew up playing on the Xbox. I love Legend of Zelda.
Yes.
So I might be working on a Riju cosplay from Breath of the Wild. We'll see. Don't quote me on that.
It's on camera.
But I love Fire Emblem, so I've done Lucina before. I'm kind of all over the place in terms of like video games. It's really just, does the game speaks to me, right? And so I love action, I love like platformers, RPGs, adventures. Yeah, I'm all over the place. And so really, if a game comes out and I really like it, I'll be like, yeah, like Soul Calibur 6. I'm excited for that.
I am too. I actually played the original Soul Calibur.
I have 2 through 5. I don't have the original.
It's hard to find.
I know. Trust me. I've been looking.
So when you started out doing cosplay, what was one of the hardest things for you to learn and then become proficient at?
Sewing.
The main core?
Yeah. I actually didn't know how to sew when I first started.
All right.
I am completely self-taught. I bought I got a sewing machine. I have a serger. I'm still trying to figure out how the serger works. And so it's the whole sewing thing is a learning curve for me. But because I have great friends, YouTube's a thing now because I didn't get that. And so it's nice that people are willing to share their expertise where I'm like, I'm really good at making armor. I can style wigs. Sewing, debatable. But there's people out there that can help you with that. And so if there's any area of cosplay you're confused at, YouTube is your best friend.
Alrighty, so this year's Animatic is all about villains. What would be one of your favorite shows or games that you would love to do the villain from?
Oh, so I'm just gonna go back to Overwatch and Doomfist.
Yeah.
Would be really fun to cosplay. I actually got to meet the voice actor at BlizzCon. He's such a sweet guy, but his voice, it's chocolate. And so I would definitely love to do a female Doomfist because that fist would be so cool. Yeah. But I'm actually also doing Catwoman tomorrow from DC.
Nice.
So I'll be doing the Gotham Sirens with 2 of the other guests out there, and we're gonna be all super sexy and hanging out and kicking some good guy butt. It'll be fun.
Alrighty, and now Animatic its real core message is all about autism and raising awareness for that. How do you feel about it?
I think that's amazing that conventions can use their platform for a better cause. And I think that more conventions should do that because they can raise a lot of money for a good cause. And there's a lot of people in the cosplay community who have disabilities and who are sometimes overlooked at conventions. And so I think Animaticon's doing a great thing because 1, we need more conventions in Cincinnati, period. And then 2, what they're doing is bringing great awareness to the community as a whole. So good on them.
Alrighty, now to wrap things up, where can we find you online? And then a message you want to get out to all the fans that have helped you and continue to support you throughout all these wonderful years.
So you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm going to try and start up my Twitch again. I'm just really lazy, but soon. Just really what I can say about cosplay and just kind of what I do. Like I said before, cosplay's for everyone, no matter what size, shape, gender, ethnicity, race you are. And I hold that to my heart so deeply because of what it means to me. And if you ever find me on social media and if you ever want to come and talk to me about anything, please feel free to send me a message. I am an open book and I will talk to you guys about anything that you're curious about. But honestly, if you want to cosplay, do it. If you feel you're nervous about a certain thing, do it because you'll feel better that you did instead of worry that you didn't. But honestly, just have fun with it. Cosplay is amazing. And even though I'm not wearing one of my intricate costumes today, I'm still having a great time just getting to interact with other nerds like me. So just go out there, do it, have fun, and you won't regret it.
All right, it was wonderful talking to you. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. I had a great time. Yep.